following announcement has been paid for by the WZWA Network.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Insider's Edge podcast here on the WZWA Network. I'm your host with the most on the West Coast, Karlifornia in Fury. What a joy to be with you all once again. And speaking of a joy, right here, right now, I have a guest on this show that I'm very, very excited to talk to, because you know what? When it comes to having guests here on the Insider's Edge podcast, you know what? I wish they all could be California girls. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the one and only Glow's own California girl, Sunny. How are you?
Ooh, I love that. And I wish they all could be California girls, but oh well, too bad. As we say, I am doing fantastic. And I am Patricia Summerland, AKA Sunny the California girl from Glow, Gorgeous Ladies of Wrestling. We're all champions in the ring. We come from the city. We come from a world where there is no pity. And I'd say the rest, but that's enough.
That's fantastic. It's so nice to meet you and have the chance to talk to you. First question usually on the show here is when you a young lady, were you a wrestling fan growing up?
That's interesting. Okay, so when I was a wee little girl, we were at the Olympic Auditorium. I was there with my father, my brother, and my mother, watching Freddie Blassie, the Destroyer, and a bunch of the old school, Mr. Moto. And I was like 5 years old, I think, terrified looking at these male wrestlers, right? Crazy. I was crazy scared. But I loved, and I remember Andre the Giant, the Destroyer in his mask. And I was in his mask and diapers when I was little. How about that? And I met him full circle at the CAC, which was truly incredible. And what a wonderful, amazing man, Dick Beyer. Amazing to this day. God rest his soul. Andre the Giant. So my father was like security and then a cop. So he would take the wrestlers, I guess, to and from their hotels, and that type of thing. So we became very good friends with them. So they'd come to our house for dinner. Yeah. So my mom would make dinner with all these, wrestlers and stuff. But that's essentially how I got into wrestling, was my father was watching Glow on TV. But before that, there was a big time span in my life where I was an athlete. So I was a track runner. So I ran like the wind. I would compete against the girls, and then they put me with the boys. And I grew up that way. So wrestling was not my thing. I never watched it, wasn't a fan until Glow. So as a little girl, obviously, yes. But I left and I was in my modeling career. I went into bikini sportswear modeling. I was on the runway. I was a fashion model. So actress, athlete, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I kind of left that wrestling part behind, and went on my venture until Glow, of course. And thank you, Dad, up there, definitely, because he was my inspiration. And that's why I actually ended up going to the tryouts for Glow, was because he was watching it on TV.
Right.
Right. And he told me to come out and watch it with him. And he's like, oh, it looks like they're looking for new girls. I'm like, you're kidding. So, I'm sitting there, I'm like, Dad, I can't do this. They're going to kill me. They'll kill me. I can run. What am I going to run out of the ring? Right? Am I going to run? I'm going to run from them. So, but watching these girls larger than life kicking butt was such an inspiration. It was so cool. So of course I sent in my headshot to give it a try. I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to get it. Sure enough, I get called. And the rest, I'm off to Vegas. The rest is, yeah.
How exciting. Cool. How exciting. One thing I wanted to ask you before I jump into my Glow questions is, as you were saying, modeling, running like the wind, athlete, actress, etc. Was there a specific dream that you had or idea about what you wanted to be at that stage of your life before you wanted to try out for Glow? Was there something that you thought, this is the path I'm going to take and where I'm hopefully going to be in 10, 15 years?
Absolutely. I wanted to be that supermodel. That's what that was my vision. That was it. The biggest model on the runway. I wanted to grace every single magazine there was out there. And, that didn't happen. I graced some magazines, but not the goal. I went into the wrestling, and then, that was a life-changing positive thing, because it taught me how to push myself, how to, for instance, doing push-ups, going into like the military training that Matt made us do, which I had no idea how to do. You know what I mean? And he pushed us to that limit. And my character, since I was at the beach all the time, I was the California girl in every sense of the word. I really didn't change myself for the character, other than they took my blonde hair at the time and they put it up in a lot of Aquanet and all that stuff. But the tan, the smile, the fun in the sun, the really, let's do this, that was me. That was totally me. And it still is to this day, except I'm really brunette. This is my hair color. So yeah, and am I a little dingy sometimes? Yeah, I like to say I'm the blonde in the brunette body, but
Excellent. The audition, how did the audition process work? How did it go for you? When I spoke to Roxy, she told me about her experience. I assume yours might be quite similar. So please indulge me.
Absolutely. So I was in North Hollywood at the time. So the audition was actually in North Hollywood. And I walked in the building, there was like 350 girls. I about died. I'm like, you're kidding me, right? They were coming out of the woodwork. It was unreal. All these actresses, different, again, sizes, shapes, colors, were there to audition. And I'm like, there's no way I'll get this. But again, I managed to get through the audition. I got sent to Vegas, and there was like, I think 150 girls. They narrowed it down to 70 and then down to 35. That's the ones that got kicked out, that couldn't handle the training. And then they also go by the character, what you're going to be. Matt tells you, oh, I see you as this, and I'm going to give you that character. So for me, I reminded him of his wife, or at the time deceased wife, which was Jane Mansfield.
Right.
So yeah, so I was the blonde. He's like, you look just like her, and I'm like, I do? I no clue. I'm like, really? I go, isn't she shapely like Marilyn Monroe and not so tall? Because I'm 5'10", He's like, no, you are. And he just showed me pictures. I'm like, wow. So there was such a resemblance. It was incredible. So I ended up being that character where he incorporated the dinginess, the fun, the love, the blonde bombshell type of thing. But I came out with my surfboard and Spuds MacKenzie, it was so cool. And I loved it. My silly knock-knock jokes. So I sang. I love to sing. So he made me sing knock-knock jokes. I'm like, you're kidding me, right? I'm going to die. So I would sing to my opponent just to make them mad, and they come after me. And they would definitely come after me after I ended my knock-knock joke. So I always came out with knock-knock jokes. Yeah.
It's great stuff. I watched some footage the other day of you, and the first thing I saw was the knock-knock joke, and I loved it.
Yeah.
Okay. So this takes place. You get selected. The character has been thought up. How did I believe did you join in? Was it season 3 of the show?
Yes, it was a season 3 girl and season 4.
Right. Okay. So that's what leads me to this question. I just wanted to double check, because the internet can be really unhelpful with my research sometimes. So I'm glad I was right there. How did the Glow ladies who had been there already, how did they treat you upon your arrival to the show?
I think we were all like just excited and nervous to be there. And I think we all got along just fine. But as the show went on, I became close with Matt. Matt kind of wanted me to be like his girlfriend, if you will. So naturally, we weren't dating. We were just very close. It was just like a kindred thing since I reminded him of his wife, obviously. So once I was there, the girls hated me. They didn't trust me. They're like, oh, she's going to run to Matt with everything. And I'm like, no, I'm not. I would never do that. So honestly, I had just like a couple. Cheyenne Cher was my buddy, Ursula, Babe. I had a few of the Glow friends, but the bad and good, the baby and the heel separated. So we were always at odds because Matt did not want to show the public the reality. You know what I mean? We kept it on. We were like hating each other on our tours. When we exited the bus, bad and good, we were separated. Like we acted like we hated him always. And that was kind of cool. But behind closed doors, we had our fun. So yeah.
That's
and then
cool.
Girls like the babies, we're always with the babies. The heels were with the heels. So
awesome. So keeping that kayfabe thing going on there.
exactly.
That's I think that's a smart way of doing it. I think it's because I guess you're performing in the same place for every single taping, so the fans are going to be around the place. So you kind of want to keep that mystery in the air, I would say.
Exactly. That's right. Yeah, absolutely.
So tell me about, excuse me, the first match that you actually had that was taped for Glow. Could you tell me about that? How nervous you were, and also maybe like how much went into it? How much of the choreography did you really have to work on for this? For anyone out there who doesn't realize how much actually went into each match.
Oh my God, it totally did. So first of all, I had to eat extra protein because I was underweight because I went there very thin. Matt didn't want me to get injured. So I had to bulk up a little bit and lift weights. So I had to eat the Riviera buffet so many times that I wanted to throw up. He'd make me eat it. You got to do this. Then I had to go to the gym and lift weights and lift weights and lift weights. But we trained as he told us. And then we were in the ring. We prepared all week for our matches on the weekend that were live taped on the weekend. So we started Monday to Friday and we trained with our opponent. And of course we knew the secret, who's going to win and lose, unfortunately. So we just put our matches together, bring it home. And then we also had to redo it in front of the director and producer so they can look at it and say, hey, yeah, we like that. Yeah, we want you over here. Maybe, little twerks before we actually go and take it all the way to the end of the week and then live. Because when we're live, that TV's on, you can't make a mistake. And if you do, you got to keep going. You know what I mean? So you got to be on your game, training, it's timing. Our maneuvers had to be right. Now I had a tag team, and a lot of people don't know this. So in the beginning, Sunny was with Queenie, the beauty queen. She was from Tennessee. Yep. She was in, Cindy was on the first trial one. She was in the monkey toss given by Nanuchka, who trained us, by the way. She was our trainer. And she was going over, and it looked good until she froze up. And as she was freezing up, she hit the mat and her collarbone, all this popped out. It was bad. It was not pretty. And they sent her home to Tennessee. So Sunny was solo. Yeah. So I had no tag team. So I got to be paired up with other, tag teams or with Mountain Fiji, you name it. I was, yeah. And then I was also just solo, but I never had a tag team.
Right. So the idea was the tag team. There's a little spanner in the works there from the injury, and now things changed for you. Interesting. Wow. It's funny how like certain things happen and then you set off into a different path. Speaking of injuries, were there moments where you got hurt in the ring?
Oh my God. I was hurt in the beginning. So when we were training, we had to hit a punching bag. We had to learn how to do our punches, all isometrics, and you got to do it the right way. Well, I wanted to be tough. When I first got there was a long line of girls. I get up to the punching bag. What did I do? I punched it straight on. I didn't even curve at all. So what do you think happened? And I went full force. So I cracked my knuckles and my wrist, and I had a cast on in the beginning of my training. I was like, are you kidding me? That one hurt. That was a learning lesson. So now I'm a skilled boxer. Hint let's see if you can see that. But that's my, because I had cancer last year. I was diagnosed with colon cancer with 5 years to live. So I've overcame that, and everything is good, but I got the tattoo, and I have my boxing gloves here that are hanging from here. If you can see that, they're hanging down. Cool gloves. So I'm a real boxer now, legit boxer. So, but that was funny, and I'll never forget that. And I had to wrestle with that cast on. I really wanted it off. I really hated it. So that, and then in a pile driver, which they no longer do, as you know.
Yeah.
So Beastie had me on tour. I was in Biloxi, Mississippi. She had me upside down. You know, show was going dark. Everything's going good. The music's on. All of a sudden, she drops me, and that was it. I turned my neck just enough, but they thought I broke my neck. I blacked out. I went out in a stretcher, and that was it. All I heard was chanting, "Sunny," and there was news cameras, so I guess I made the news. That was kind of cool, right? You know, in Biloxi, Mississippi, because we performed, I think it was like 30,000 people there, because that was on our tour. We performed the same match from state to state, you know. We had 2 days off, and the rest we performed at each state that we traveled. We started in Georgia, and we ended up back in Georgia, and we flew back to Vegas, but we did Tennessee, Louisiana, all these states, and we packed the house. That was so cool. But oh man, that was not good. So I was on painkillers, this all shredded. But thank God I learned in wrestling how to twerk my neck, if you will, in placement when you land. So I didn't break my neck, but it was very close, very close. God, that was horrible. Yeah, that was a serious injury. And the rest I was fine. I mean, I never, other than that, you know, but like I said, we've had injuries. Susie Spirit in the season 1, if you remember, her elbow popped out on national TV, you know. Yeah, there was something, because you're on TV, and if it happens, what can you do, right? It's for real, you know. And that's why I hate when people say wrestling's fake. No, I say people are fake. Wrestling's real. I always say, get in the ring and let's wrestle. You know, let me show you if you think it's, you know, fake. Yeah, it's all, you know, it's stunt work, it's acrobatic work. We were training in a trampoline, a gymnasium, to learn how to flip in midair, because we had those opportunities with Glow, because we had Big Bad Mama, the voodoo queen, who had her doll, had her Sunny doll. Let's say she'd come out with my Barbie doll, and she'd tell me to flip because I'm in a trance. She'd turn my doll this way. I had to do what the doll did in midair. And I'm like, I can't do this. I'm 5'10". I would be terrified. But at that moment, you can't be terrified. You just got to do it. You just go with it and hope that it looks good. You know what I mean? It's like, whew. But yeah.
Absolutely. And just to add on to what you said about people saying wrestling's fake and all that stuff. I feel like wrestling is like the most intricate art form that there is, as far as I'm concerned, because you're not only implementing acting, you're not only implementing like athletic ability and stunt work, but you have to do your stunt in one take in front of everyone. You have to have all these different things right. There's so many different laws and reasons for different maneuvers that you utilize in the ring. So many tiny little things you have to remember with everything, and so many people out there don't seem to understand it. So many people out there think, oh, I could just get in there and do it. I guarantee you, they take one back bump and they don't tuck their chin. They're going to get that brain pain that you get when you don't do it correctly, and then they're very quickly going to realize, oh, okay, this isn't really as easy as I thought it would be. No,
you know, and you start with your minimal frontward rolls, backward rolls, back legs split, back, you know, forward rolls, legs open, you know, that whole thing. And it's like, then you go to the handstands, and handstands were never easy for me anyway, because again, I'm more of an athlete with running my legs, not with my legs straight up, you know, in the air handstand. I'm like, I hated those things. So I never did those good. In Hollywood, I think it was Hollywood and myself were the girls that always our legs would do this. Just that's the way it was. So yeah, that was a great match too. We had Hollywood and I think that was Hollywood and Vine, and I think Queenie may have been in that one. Yeah. So yeah, it was a lot of fun though. Always a lot of fun just to see the fans, the endearment of the children, the little boys and girls out there. Hey, Sammy, throw me your surfboard or whatever the case is. That's what makes it. That's what makes it. Is that we were larger than life. We were superheroes to them, and that you can't. There's nothing better than that. So you continue, you keep going, and they actually thought in one of my matches, Beastie bit my ear off. They thought, she really did. She's holding my ear around the ring like this, and it's bleeding. Now I come out in another match and it's all taped up because really, so they really believed it. And that's what's cool. You know what I mean? That's what's cool. It's the selling part of it, of the wrestling. You have to sell, slow it down and sell. And the wrestling nowadays, I can't watch it. It's just like, I like the old school wrestling. I love the old school.
That's what I'm all about.
Yeah, they just lost it somewhere throughout the time. Well, that's just with everything, I guess. But, I like Natalia, the wrestler.
She's great.
I love it. I love her. But I'm not fond of a lot of the others. I just can't. I think she's really good. So, yeah, if I was to watch it, if she's in a match, then I'm watching it,
Yeah, I this is my hypothesis, I suppose, of the situation with wrestling today. And I'll get back to my question soon, but I thought this was interesting to go down. There was an era where video games became quite popular, wrestling video games, and a lot of people became fans of wrestling through playing the video games first before even watching it on TV. And then a lot of the people who wanted to get into wrestling had grown up playing the video games. I don't know if if there's any connection, but I feel like today I watch wrestling and they're wrestling like you see it in a video game, where the characters in the video game get back up straight away and there's no selling. That's just me. I don't know if there's any correlation there, but
right, I know. Do you see the video game behind me? Actually,
yes.
Okay, so I won that on Let's Make a Deal. That and this right here. I run the whole game system when I went on Let's Make a Deal.
Oh, that's so cool. I didn't know you get to do that.
I love those things. Yeah. I'm like a little kid at heart. I'll go out and play basketball. I'm like that tomboy as I always was when I was growing up, Yeah. I'm very competitive. That's what's scary. I'm like, let's go, let's do it.
That's cool. So we were talking about fans. Did you have any stories of any nice moments with a fan, or maybe a strange moment with a fan? I know some fans can be a bit weird. Some fans can be quite lovely. Please, any stories at all?
Oh gosh, like the stalking fans. Yeah, I've had those. Definitely stalking fans. Some really endearing. So I have a Barbie doll. I had a fan that called the company and ordered me with him as I'm getting married to him. Like he is the groom. So he had the dolls mailed to my house. I'm like, wow, okay. So many things like that, let me tell you. But you know what? With Glow, Matt kept the boundaries where we didn't have craziness. It was, always, very, very secured for us. Yeah. Yeah.
That's good. That's a strange way of letting somebody know.
But Afterglow now at my parents' house, there used to be like all these children camped out at my parents' house when I would exit Glow and go see them on the weekend. When I drive home, they'd be camped out. That was cool. I was like, Sonny, we love you.
That's so cute.
Yes, absolutely. And the paparazzi. Oh my gosh, Variety. I had a terrible picture. Inquirer. The inquiring minds want to know. So we had all these pictures, and somehow they always get the worst picture of me. I'm like, seriously? Yeah, but I think, fans have been really good, other than there is now, of course I get fans now on social media because of my Playboy stuff, but other than that, yeah.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yes.
Your point of view from this situation, why do you feel that Glow was cancelled despite the high ratings of the show? And did you know that the last Glow that was produced at the time would be the last one as it was happening, or did you find out afterward?
Okay, run that back to me again. About what now? I'm sorry, because I had to.
It's okay. I think I've written the question a bit odd. From your point of view, why do you feel like Glow was cancelled despite the higher ratings of the show? And when the final taping took place at that time, did you know that was going to be the last one?
I did not, because I left Glow before it ended.
Okay.
Going to end though, mind you. Matt pulled me out of the ring because my father took ill. And I had to fly to see my father, and he died within 5 days. So that was horrible. My father never got to see me wrestle live. So I got on a plane to see my dad. When that happened, I returned to Glow, to Vegas, thinking Glow was still going, and it was gone. I'm like, what happened? Where did everybody go? What happened? Well, there was some issues at the end with one of the girls who had an affair with Meshulam, the owner of Glow, Meshulam Reckless. And I guess that kind of ended Glow. We were going to have a movie. I mean, we were going to take it all the way in to the end. Matt had a movie already written for us. Yeah. So it kind of like axed because of that. Yeah. There's a little bit of, situation there where Matt's like, I'm not doing this. Meshulam had to save his marriage, so there was a lot of things going on there. Yeah.
Oh,
yep.
What a shame, right?
Well, it's certainly, yeah. So one of the Glow girls kind of botched that up. Mm-hmm.
Good Lord.
Yep.
So this was to be, I mean, not only are you dealing with your father passing away, and my condolences over that, now you have this thing that was also a really special thing in your life that you were going to go back to. Now this is now gone. How did it make you feel to, which way do I go now? What do I do with myself now? And also you had an outlet to creativity. So that part of your brain was being utilized quite a lot. And the rush of performing is gone at that stage as well. Not being able to see your friends or your co-performers every week that you'd be used to, that camaraderie, all of this in one big bundle. How did this make you feel?
It was gone. I felt lost, and being lost in Vegas is like being home alone, right? You're like, what? Yeah, I was going crazy. So I came across the referee, Benny Diamond at the time, right? He was a referee in Glow. So we ended up being friends, and he helped me with some creativity. He built a wrestling ring for me. And he says, with some other gentleman, which is another whole story there, that I did the NFL stuff, the poster girl. So I was a poster girl. I went back into modeling, long story short, in Vegas. I did the NFL, Raiders, Rams, New England Patriots, and Miami Dolphins. So, but in the interim of everything, this individual says, we need to get you out there, Sonny. You should be on a billboard. Make you a sex symbol, blah, blah, blah. Make you a big star. Well, I ended up doing a motion picture in Vegas called A Season in the Sun with Scott Baio. Jimmy McNichol was the male lead and I was the female lead. It didn't happen because he didn't own the rights to the script in the final end. He created that to have me next to him. It's such a long story, but it was a horrific story. That's why I'm doing the book and movie about my life. But and that's why there's a comic book. I have a comic book. I'm the first female pro wrestler out of any promotion, any WWE, any of that, with a squared circle. Biocomics. So I have my own biocomic book about my life story. And then there's an encyclopedia with myself, Rocky Johnson, Jack Hager's in it. So it's pretty cool.
Oh, that's awesome.
Included some of the Glow girls in it. Of course, I had to, and not that I didn't want to. And I also brought in some fans in the book, so they have a little bit of. But the thing is, Yeah, it was a crazy story. So I ended up having a show called Battling Beauties on the Strip, where I headlined and billboarded that show. Now, Battling Beauties was, I came out and emceed. I wish they all could be California girls. I was wearing a white bikini and a thong when I could wear a thong, you know what I mean? And I had hot tuxedo, and I'd come out singing that song. And I would win in the ultimate end with the girls. I'd end up throwing them all out. You know, I was like the heel that I always wanted to be. So it was a lot of fun. It was oil wrestling, straight pro wrestling, being sprayed down with oil. Do you know how difficult that is? It
can
wasn't
imagine.
rolling around. It was straight pro. And I'm like, I looked at the guys, I go, are you kidding me? We're going to get injured. But no, nobody got injured. And I brought the girls in. We trained the girls. And that was a success for, I don't know. We had it for about 6 months. So that kind of took the pain from Glow onto that. It was cool because now I'm like headlining, and everyone, as Sunny Summerland, by the way. So that was, it was called Battling Beauties, and it was a lot of fun. Yeah. So I got back into that in that way. And then after that, I ended up coming back to LA because I had what had happened to me. And I got married and I had a child. So yeah, and I was in hiding for a long time from this individual. So without going there and saying too much, yeah, it'll be out soon.
Fair enough. I understand. Time goes by, many years go by, I suppose you could say. 2012, there's a documentary made about Glow. Wanted to know if you had the chance to be involved in this. I've seen it. It's been a while since I've seen it, so I can't remember if you were in it or not. That's why I'm asking. But did you get to be a part of this?
I was supposed to be a part of it. I had my surfboard in tow on the way out going to the documentary. I get a phone call from Cedars-Sinai Hospital that my daughter was in a horrific accident. Get to the hospital. She was at Cedars-Sinai in the trauma unit. So needless to say, that didn't happen. I dropped my surfboard. I was shocked and sad and frantic. And I grabbed one of my friends to drive me to the hospital to see my daughter. And so I wasn't involved in that. That's why you don't see me in it. But I was in the actual, because they actually filmed it January 13, 2010. I remember it like the day. And then it was released in 2012 where, everybody could see it. Yeah.
Right.
So, yeah.
Okay. Well, there we have it. That uncovered why that you weren't a part of it there. I know you'd said that you became a mum and all that. But was there any interest from you to maybe wrestle in companies like the WWF or WCW after Glow was over?
Kind of, but not really. No, because I kind of already shifted back to like being a mom, being a businesswoman.
Yep.
I had my own business called Inches Off, so it was a workout gym. So I was always in that type of, off of who I was, of course, because people come in, they say, "Oh, we want to look like you." We want to. So it was Tony tables. I had mud wraps, all that kind of stuff, facials, massage, all that. Yeah. So I was, I settled down, got married, and my husband certainly didn't want me to do any of that. So yeah, kind of stayed away from that.
Fair enough. I whenever I have anyone from Glow on, I always want to ask about that because I know Ivory ended up doing quite well.
Right. Ivory. Yes.
I wanted to bring up Tammy Sytch, who in the mid-90s was known as Sunny in the WWF.
Yes.
Just wanted to know what you thought of finding out that there's this other girl called Sunny now, and they're on WWF TV. If it were me, I'd be like, I'm Sunny. So how did that make you feel?
Right, I know. No, Sunny was just Sunny. So then I was Sunny, the California girl. So Sunny was, and she was after me. I paved the way for her career, which was great. And sadly enough, everyone talks to me now about her, because she's not doing well. She's in a real bad way now, and she just kept getting worse and worse. So they're like, "What do you think about what she's doing?" I go, "I feel bad. I wish her all the luck. I wish she'd get herself out of that and become better." But it sadly enough did not happen. But yeah, absolutely. And to pave the way for her, and to know that she was a Hall of Famer, I can't go wrong. But so my character was the female Hulk Hogan. So it wasn't so much that Sunny, you know what I mean? They just used, so yeah, my character is more the female Hulk Hogan. I was like the wife of the Hogan. That's what everyone thought I was. They're like, "Are you married to Hulk Hogan?" And I'm like, "No." But yeah, and again, I feel so bad now that her life, that's what happens. I mean, she just couldn't get out of that whole spiral.
No,
Sad.
never. Yeah, it is sad. I thought there was hope for it at one stage, but especially when she went into the Hall of Fame. But hopefully everything will turn out okay for her and everyone that she's connected to.
Yes, I hope so.
I'll get into the tail end here, Sunny, and this is one of my favorite questions. What do you miss most about Glow's heyday and your time there?
I think I miss, like I said, the fans, the crowd, the cheering, just being out in the ring again and being able to do those moves and just, the fans, the kids, the children, absolutely making their faces light up when we enter the ring. A little bit of everything. I miss the performing. I miss it. Yeah, of course. I when I go to, I see WOW and I just want to jump back in the ring. I'm like watching and I'm like, "Come on, Roxy, let's go." She's like, "Are you crazy, Sunny?" I go, "No, let's do this." Because I put on some other matches. I put on some other shows since then. Myself, I had a veterans show that I did in Santa Monica. So it was called The Wrestling Rock, and it was really good. And so we had musicians, wrestlers, and it was for a charity event. So I was there again. So, I'm still kind of there. And sometimes I get the inkling I want to do something again, but no, it's whatever. If I train girls or something, absolutely, I would love to do that. Yeah.
Very cool. Obviously, there was something that came out on Netflix not too long ago. I believe it's since wrapped up, but Glow, the TV show. Did you have a chance to check this out? What did you think of the show?
Absolutely, I did. I watched all 3 seasons. Of course, it didn't make it to the 4th. Ironically, kind of like us, we made 4 seasons, but we did go to pay-per-view and stuff. But which was nice because I was at home watching TV and there we are on pay-per-view. I'm like, told my husband, I'm like, "Oh, there I am." And he's like, "What?" So yeah, it was crazy. But I think Netflix brought us relevant again to the younger crowd, but it wasn't the way it was in Glow. The only thing that was similar is at the end, the 3rd season was the wrestling. They finally had the wrestling and the girls involved in the wrestling, but all that drama, the robot with the cocaine, that would have been nice, but we didn't have that. We didn't have any of that. What? I was like watching, I'm like, "Oh no," we were so strict. Matt was so strict on us. We could not do anything. You know what I mean? It was like work, work, work. Let's do this. Let's get a good match, for the taping. But he did let us leave on the weekends and have fun. So I liked it, but it wasn't our characters. They took 3 or 4 girls and meshed in one, because they had to, because we're not in it. So they had to tread carefully because we could sue them. They can't use a likeness or a character at all. You know what I mean? So, but it was nice. And it was nice to have a show based on you. I mean, who has that, right? So we're all like, it's incredible, right? WWE, look at it. WWE, do you think they're going to have a show based on them with all the wrestlers? I doubt it.
Yeah.
But Glow actually had a show based on us and paying homage to all of us. So that's a blessing. And what more can you ask? I mean, that's very cool, right?
I think so too. And
great actresses, love them. They were all fantastic, you know.
Yes,
Yeah.
I thought what's her name? Alison Brie. I think she was tremendous in her role.
Very good.
But yeah, it's proof in the pudding that what you ladies were able to create back then, still relevant now. What you created back then was so special that, of course, they made a TV show based on it. So I think that's just something that's really warming to the heart.
Yes.
I want to give you the opportunity now. You've mentioned some projects that you have in the pipeline, but just plug everything that's going on in your life right now, Patricia. I know that you've got a whole heap of things going on, so please let everyone know what's going on.
Okay, so right now there's a thing that I don't know if Roxy had told you, but there's something that's coming out that's called More Than a Wrestler. So this is a little bit of our story, a podcast, and then a book following, and it's super cool. I look forward to that. But personally, I have my own book, autobiography, is coming out, and a movie based on it. It's a process in the making, and it's going to really help a lot of people, which I'm very fortunate on, just by telling my story, you know, to help others out there about everything, about bullying, you know, death, stalking, rape, everything is in there, you know, and that is my life, from being handed over at birth, you know, and everything else that's happened. And so, and I always say I'm a survivor. I'm not a victim here. You know, I just hate that. So I'm always a survivor. And then, you know, just overcoming cancer. I'm a big advocate there. So I help people. I'm always in the group, my colon cancer group, and helping many there. And it feels good as much as I can, you know, getting the word out and stuff, because we're losing so many at a young age, by the way. It's just, you know, people are like, oh, no, I don't need to get this because I'm not going to get it. I'm too young. But we've got 18, 19-year-olds that are getting this colon cancer now, and it's very deadly. So it's very important to get the message out, to eat clean, don't drink sodas, you know, all that stuff that causes colon cancer, which I myself had it, but I never ate or drank sodas. I always ate clean. I did everything right. So also on the flip side, it doesn't matter. Cancer is cancer. It can attack anybody.
Yeah.
Nobody yeah, it's has no discretion. It's going to get you if it's going to get you, because everyone's like, oh my God, you're so healthy. You look, and then what I would get when I had it, they're like, oh, you're so beautiful. You don't look like you have cancer. And I'm like, well, what does cancer look like? You know, can you tell me? So I just make a joke. So after I had it, I had surgery, and they cut out half my colon and half of my rectum, right? And to get the tumor. So it's gone. Everything's. So I tell everyone, I said, listen, I'm half an ass now. And they're like, what? I had to say that. Actually, half an ass? I'm like, yeah.
You see, if you have a sense of humor about it and you can make a joke about it, then you win.
Absolutely.
You don't let it make you feel bad. You win. So that's great.
No, because I'm here, you know, I'm thankful, you know. God bless. Amen. Yep, that's what we do. And you just learn from that and move forward. You know what I mean? And help as many as you can. So, and that's what I do. But yeah, I've got, God, so much. And then I've just taken on a wonderful other new thing that happened to pop in my lap this week about managing a rapper, or at least helping her become famous, because she's really good. So you'll see me start posting soon on Instagram, TikTok. She's blown up though. She's got like 5.8 million on TikTok, I think, something like that.
Wow.
So good. She's 16 years old, 5.0 grade average. Her name is J Money. J Money Star. She's good. Watch out, little Kim. So I'm working there too, them and helping there. So a little bit of everything.
Very, very cool.
Right?
And any information that you've just said there, we'll have on the description on YouTube when this interview goes out, so everyone
And
can
I'm selling
find
my comics book. Yeah, and don't forget, I have my comic books. My bio
Yes.
comic by Squared Circle is out there. Don't forget to buy it. I have my encyclopedia. Encyclopedia is the hard cover, the soft cover. My Playboy. I have another book I just endorsed. Younga the Dancing Yeti. Younga the Dancing Yeti. So it's a book about bullying. So it's for children, and I celebrity endorse that too. So check that out. It's by Stephen Tako. So much more. I can just, yeah. So just find me on social media. I'm out there, and I'm under Patricia Summerland. I really talk under that name rather than Sunny, even though I do have Sunny pages. I have a new Sunny page on Instagram. I not so much on there. Yeah, I should be on more, but I'm on Patricia Summerland. So yeah, just find me on there and all the social platforms.
Wonderful. Well, Patricia, it's time to get to our final segment of the show. It's called 5 Second Frenzy. And the first question is, who is your favorite professional wrestler of all time?
Natalia.
Excellent choice.
Yes, and of course Hulk Hogan in the male side. Sorry, The Rock, but I love him, but got to go with Hulk.
Very cool. Over the years, who would you say was your favorite person to work with, your favorite opponent to work with in the ring?
Oh my gosh. You know what? That's a tough one because I loved all the girls. I really did. The one that I worked with the most, I would have to say Beastie, the Road Warrior. Her and I always got paired together the most, and I loved her. Yeah. So Beastie.
Awesome. Was there one particular match that you performed in that you look back on as like, yeah, that's my favorite?
The one with Daisy and Gremlina. Yeah, where I picked up Gremlina. I was the only wrestler, and she'll tell you that got her off her feet. She never wanted to be picked up, but I literally picked her up and I took her head in the turnbuckle because she was squirming on my back when I had her in a fireman's carry. So I went 3 times and took her head. She was like, "I love that, Sonny," and I'm like, "Are you sure?" It's like, I had to hurt, really did. But I wanted her to stop squirming. But yeah, that match I think was great. Yeah, to work with Daisy and Gremlina, that was a good match.
Excellent. Now finally getting away from wrestling. Do you have a favorite book?
Oh gosh, favorite book. There's so many, but right now I'm actually reading Tyler Henry. It's a medium book, his book, because I love Tyler Henry. I'm really fascinated because I went to a medium to find my birth mother, and that's how I found my birth mother because I was told she was dead, so I had to go to a medium. So I am reading, Tyler Henry. It's amazing book. Yeah, how he talks to the people who have passed on. He writes scribbles as he talks to them. It's incredible. So I have his book even on scribbles. He signed it, he autographed it for me. So I'm a bit of a fan. Yeah, I know. It's kind of strange, but yeah, mediums. I have one about God, Where God Knows, it's called. I'm reading stuff like that. Yeah.
Interesting. I always find stuff like that interesting as well. Favorite TV show is the next one.
Oh, wow. It's a favorite TV show. Well, back in the day was Glow. No. Golden Girls. I love the Golden Girls back then. But what I watch now, I like Netflix stuff. I like movies and like money heist type stuff. Yeah, I'm fascinated with series like that. I'm a Netflix girl.
Yeah, and the Golden Girls is a tremendous TV show.
Exactly.
Do you have a favorite film?
Favorite film, Good, Bad, and the Ugly.
Very good choice.
That's right.
The next one is favorite musical artist or band.
Michael Jackson, favorite artist ever. Michael, there's only one, and Elvis, which I have to go watch his movie. I'm so excited.
Me too. I'm really excited too. Awesome. Getting away from the arts now, only a few more to go. Do you have a favorite food?
Sushi. That's easy.
Very popular answer on our show is sushi.
Yes, so good.
Do you have a favorite place to eat on the road?
On the road. You know what? Cracker Barrel.
Again, a very popular answer.
You can have a drink in one, it's great.
Awesome. 3 to go here. Do you have a favorite beverage? You're thirsty. What would be something that you would go to?
I have my Circle water all the time. I don't know if you've heard of Circle, but it's a flavored water. It's my baby bottle, I call it. I'm surprised I don't have it here, but it comes with all these different flavors. You pop it in and you go and you drink it. I think it lasts like 3 weeks. It's
Right.
amazing. Oh, it's delicious. And then I love that new Snapple they just came out with. Have you tried it? Oh,
We don't get
it's
Snapple in Australia.
like a cactus something. Oh my God, it's so good.
Oh, great. Yeah, there's so many things that you get over there in the United States that we just don't get over here.
You get boba? I love boba too. The milk tea boba. Have you tried that? It's so
No, I
good.
haven't. Awesome. We got 2 more to go here. The second last one, I guess it's kind of the naughtiest one, but sometimes we get some very meaningful answers for it. Favorite male body part? You see a good looking guy, you know, where will Patricia's eyes go to first?
I would say, gosh, a favorite, but his face. It has to be his face because I'd recognize his face and his eyes and his smile, you know. And then from behind, as he walks away, it's his butt, of course.
Fantastic.
Gotta have a butt.
No, it's great. We always get interesting answers for that one. And the last one, I don't think you said one curse word on this show, but the favorite curse word is the final one here of 5 Second Frenzy.
Fudge you.
Wonderful.
Clean. Yeah.
Excellent stuff. Well, Patricia Summerland, aka Sunny, the California girl. What a joy, an honor, and privilege to have the chance to talk to you, learn a little bit about your time and glow, learn a little bit about your life. And I can tell that there is so much more about you to learn about, because we only just scraped the surface here of your life and your experiences. So I really just want to say thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me. And I think it's meaningful for someone to say that, you know, I appreciate Glow. I appreciate all the ladies that work for Glow. And I live in the most isolated city in the world, Perth, Western Australia. So you've reached all the way over here. You've reached that far.
Australia,
So I think that,
yes. Say hi to I have a big fan in Australia, by the way, Brendan. And I have to show him this because he is an Aussie. He's
cool.
I don't know what part of Australia, but he buys all my pictures. I love him. Yes. So definitely, you know, much love to Aussie. I got to get over there. I would love to go. Yeah,
you have to come to the West Coast.
Yeah, a box of kangaroo. I'm sure he'll win. From what I heard.
Well, thank you again, Patricia. I really appreciate it.
So much fun. Thank you. You're a doll. Take care.
Thank you. Thank you all out there for watching us here on the Insider's Edge podcast. I'm Karlifornia. This is Patricia Summerland, and we will see you down the road. Thank you.